Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Catalina Francesca and this is Kaleidoscope Cat. We are here for 31 days of tarot, days 15 through 20. That's a lot of days. So let's just get right into it. So day 15's question is, what is your favorite pop culture tarot reader representation and why? And mine is in the Night Circus. Shoot, I actually forget her name. Not Marco, not Celia. Celia and Marco is wow, it's been a really long time. Oh wait, here it is. Isabel. That's her name. So she uses a Marseille deck. I believe. It's been a really long time since I read this book. I actually really want to reread it because this book is just lush and wonderful. 10 out of 10. Honestly, like 20 out of 10. This book is one of my favorites ever of all time. I just love it. Like, look at this. Isn't that just incredible? Anyways, so this is, yes, the Washington Post says, a love story for adults that feels luxuriously romantic. And yes. Yes, yes, yes. Also, so Audrey Niffenegger, the author of The Time Traveler's Wife, I really hope I'm pronounced that name right. Erin Morgenstern has created the circus I have always longed for, and she has populated it with dueling, love-struck magicians, precocious kittens, hyper-elegant displays of beauty, and complicated clocks. This is a marvelous book. Y'all. Oh my goodness. This book is amazing. And anyways, Isabel, the tarot reader. So she actually uses Le Bateleur, which is the magician in French, so it's in the like French. I don't actually have a Marseille deck, but she actually does some tarot spell work. So this was actually I believe this book was actually my introduction to tarot, pretty much. And yeah, and it was also my introduction to use of tarot in magic. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, I just love it. So she uses the card Le Bateleur in a spell for part of the book, and then later undoes that spell, and it has some consequences. Because I think she thinks it's not working. I can't remember the story super well. I can't remember every detail of it, but what I do remember is that she thinks that the spell's not working, so she just sort of undoes it, and it does actually have consequences because it was doing something. So it's just this wonderful example of, like, we can think that we're not having an effect on something, and we really are. So so I just love this book so much. I am in fact tearing up just a little bit, if you couldn't tell. So yeah, oh man, I need to reread this book. This is actually just gonna go right over here, and I'm gonna start rereading this today, maybe, because it's so good. Anyways, so yeah, Isabel from The Night Circus is my favorite tarot reader in popular culture. I guess I'm not sure if this is popular culture, but it's like fiction. So anyways, Isabel from The Night Circus. So day 16's prompt is to do some art of your 2020 tarot card. And my numerologic card of the year is the Wheel of Fortune. And so I did sort of draw on this image for some inspiration. So this is what I came up with. It's very simple. But I think that I like it. So the card that I drew for this year is actually the sun card. So I wanted to incorporate some of those like sun colors into this. And then what I did is, so in this card, the four winged beings are the authors of the four authors of the Gospels, or the authors of the four Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. I don't remember which is which. Sorry. I'm pretty sure Matthew is the man. Mark is the lion. I think. Which means that probably Luke is the ox and John is the eagle. That's my best guess. I don't know off the top of my head. So I put the four books of the Gospels in the corners of this piece of art that I have made. So that is that. Oh gosh, question 17 is, what celebrity would you read for and why? I don't really... Oh! I would read for Erin Morgenstern. I would love to read for Erin Morgenstern. That would be so cool. That would be awesome. And like also slightly terrifying because like she's such an amazing, incredible author, and her work is just like mind-boggling. But yeah, I would freaking love to read for her. That would be like the coolest thing possibly ever. That would be awesome. Yeah, that would be so cool. So then the question for day 18 is, what is the best deck that you have for meditation / journey work? I'll be real, I haven't actually used any of my decks for this. But I couldn't just pick one, so I actually pulled out 3. 'Cause yeah. So one of them is the Spacious Tarot, because the cards are so like clear, but also have so much like sort of invitation in them for like letting you go into the cards and really like experience what's going on in there. So I think that this would be a really great deck for doing like path working. And then so that is one of the decks that I chose. The next deck that I chose is what I really consider to be my oldest deck, which is the Shadowscapes Tarot. I freaking love this deck. That's the deck that I've had the longest of all of my decks, that I like still have, because I have lost the Tarot Art Nouveau that I had, which is no great loss, TBH, because it was a terrible beginner's deck. I mean, the art was gorgeous, but it just didn't feel connected to the meanings of the cards. Sorry, I should be showing you cards, not just rambling about. Anyways. Wow, it's mostly coming up like court cards. This is interesting. You're getting to see all of the kings. Oh, okay, there we go. Just because the art in this deck is so lush that I really think that it would be really fantastic for doing pathworking. And then the third deck that I pulled out that I would really like to try pathworking with. This is a deck that I have not actually worked with yet. I've not spent like a full week working with this deck yet, and I want to. And when I do, probably is when I'll make a little tarot bag for it. But this is the Fairy Tale Tarot by Lisa Hunt. Left on there, which I think, yeah, this card was on the facing of the deck, and it is the card that I mentioned in the last video that I pulled this deck out for, the Ten of Pentacles, which shows my favorite fairy tale, not Snow White and Rose Red, okay, well, the Appalachian version is sometimes called Snow Bear Weddington. East of the Sun, West of the Moon. Jeez, why was that so hard for me to remember? Yikes. Anyways, I just think that because due to the fairy tale nature of this, it would be really easy to, like, once I had read the fairy tale, get like pulled into the story and like use the image to like really get into the story. And yeah, so that is the best decks that I have for meditation / journey work, in my humble opinion. And, you know, in my also like unpracticed and kind of not incredibly informed opinion, because I'm still confused about how to do pathworking. I'm just like, how does this work? So I'm just really confused about how that whole thing works. But then the next question for day 19 is, what is the best deck that you have for ritual or magic? And the deck that I have is the This Might Hurt tarot deck, because this is one where I haven't used it in like rituals, but I have used this deck. This is some of the images. It's like very Rider-Waite-Smithy, but sort of updated and modern. So this is a deck where I have actually used this for magic. I put up a bunch of, when I was doing this last semester of my undergrad degree, I put up a bunch of these cards. Let me see if I can fish through and find any of them. I put up a bunch of these cards around the room. And sort of as like inspiration, as something that I could look at as I was working. Oh, actually, I'm just realizing now the Six of Wands might have been a good choice, not one that I had. Wow, they must all be at like the very end or something. So the ones that I used were I can't even remember. Well, the Knight of Pentacles was one of them. Oh, they are literally all together right at the very end. Okay. Should have just looked at the end first, but so the Knight of Pentacles. So I had some of these up over my desk. So I had the Knight of Pentacles, the Nine of Wands, and Strength up over my desk. And then I had the Four of Swords up over my bed. So just because I didn't really feel like pulling out my Rider-Waite-Smith. So actually, this one was because in the little guidebook that comes with this, which is packed with wonderful stuff, it says it calls the Knight of Pentacles the one who rides all the way through. And so that was energy that I decidedly needed for this last semester. Strength, like I mentioned in a previous video, was the card that was coming up for me a lot with my Stolen Child Tarot. And so I thought that it would be a good choice to have that one as well, as just sort of a reminder without taking the card out of my Stolen Child deck. The Nine of Wands, to me, especially in this deck, really speaks of that sort of final push of getting something done, which is actually, I did get that from Lisa at Supportive Tarot in her walkthrough of this deck. And then the Four of Swords to me sort of always means like restful sleep. So, or like, you know, good rest. So this card was the one that I had over my bed, because I, you know, pretty desperately needed some restful sleep then. And in hindsight, it probably would have been smart to have the victory card up somewhere, but you know, hindsight being 20/20 and all that. And then, so the question for day 20, which is today, is what is your favorite Lovers card? And my favorite Lovers card, I actually have two, because I couldn't restrict myself to just one, like with the High Priestess. And like with the High Priestess, one of them comes from the Fountain Tarot. So this is the Lovers from the Fountain Tarot, which I just freaking adore. It's so, like, wonderful. It so wonderfully speaks of, like, this union, this partnership, but without it being inherently gendered, which is really nice. Anyways, so I do really love this Lovers card. But actually, my absolute all-time favorite Lovers card is the Anna K Tarot Lovers card. Because this Lovers card just speaks to me of like long relationships that last. And I know that that's not always what the Lovers card is about, but with this particular deck, it really is what that card is about. It's to me, in the Anna K Tarot, the Lovers is really about relationships lasting and being what's the word? Just being strong after a really long time, like weathering the storm, I guess, is a good way of putting it. So that is my absolute all-time favorite Lovers card. I just really freaking adore it. And that brings us to the end of this video. So thank you so much for watching this. Please like and subscribe if you want to. And I will see you in my next video, which will probably be another 31 Days of Tarot 2020 video, hopefully tomorrow, but we shall see. Again, thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Also, please read The Night Circus if you have not, because it is so good. You will not regret it. It's amazing, truly. Okay, with that, like, last little plug for The Night Circus out of the way, I will let you go. Like I said, have a wonderful, wonderful day. And just happy taroting if you tarot.